Welcome to the Deep Dive. Have you ever found yourself just completely tangled up in like a bewildering mess of loyalty, ambition, and maybe even some outright betrayal?
Mm-hmm.
Where the lines just get so blurry between who's an ally and who's an adversary, and you're left wondering, who on earth can I actually trust?
Yeah, it sounds familiar in certain circles.
Well, if that sounds like, a typical Tuesday for you, then you are perfectly primed for our deep dive today.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly the kind of intricate, high-stakes drama we're stepping into.
It really is. Genoa City isn't just a hotbed of intrigue. It's like a living, breathing chess game.
Right.
And this week, we're looking specifically at September 15th through the 19th, and boy, is it delivering an extra dose of high stakes, secret alliances, shocking revelations, stuff that really threatens to shake the foundations of the city's most powerful families.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about some pivotal moves here, things that are going to reshape dynamics for months, probably.
Absolutely. And our mission today really is to cut through all that noise, the whispers, the carefully crafted facades.
Mm-hmm.
We've really dug deep into a pretty substantial stack of sources. Everything from those tantalizing weekly spoilers to the raw, unedited video transcripts.
Good stuff.
Exactly. We're here to pull out the most crucial bits of information, connect the dots between things that might seem totally separate,
Right.
and hopefully uncover the true, often hidden motivations behind these, let's face it, very complex characters. Think of this as your shortcut to being genuinely, surprisingly well-informed about the latest twists.
And why should you, our listener, really care about all these intricate dramas playing out?
Good question.
Because this deep dive, it's not just about recapping storylines. It's about shedding light on those timeless, really complex dynamics of power, family, romance, things that resonate way beyond Genoa City.
Simply.
You'll hopefully get those aha moments that clarify who's really playing whom, and maybe even more importantly, why. We're looking at the weight of the choices these characters make, the ripples they create, and how they inevitably shape the future, not just for them, but for the whole city's interwoven destiny. It's kind of a study in human nature under serious pressure.
Okay, let's get into this week then. We're starting off with what looks like a classic Genoa City love triangle. Or maybe, given how many people are involved, it's more like a love hexagon at this point.
Huh, could be.
All centered around Kyle, Claire, and, well, all their dramatic entanglements.
Mm-hmm.
It's messy, it's passionate, and it looks like it's about to get even messier.
It really is a classic setup, but, with some very modern complications. And there's this distinct undertone of corporate maneuvering mixed in, too.
Always.
Yeah. The week kicks off Monday, September 15th, with a pretty big bombshell involving Kyle Abbott, one that really speaks volumes about his intentions, maybe even his desperation.
Right. So Claire Grace Newman, and she looks understandably a bit rattled.
Mm-hmm.
She drops this significant piece of news on her mom, Victoria. Kyle signed a whopping $5 million contract.
Wow.
With none other than Victor Newman.
So Victor Newman, okay.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now, $5 million, that's not pocket change, right? Even in Genoa City.
Not at all.
It immediately signals a major power play, a bold declaration, especially with Victor involved.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't just like a job offer. It feels like an alliance, whether Kyle really gets the full implications yet or not.
And what's really fascinating here is Victoria's reaction. It's immediate, but almost conflicted.
Yeah, how so?
Well, on one hand, she instinctively defends Kyle. She interprets this huge financial risk. And let's be clear, tying yourself to Victor is always a risk.
Oh, yeah.
As proof of his devotion to Claire.
Okay.
She sort of frames it as this grand romantic gesture,
Yeah.
a man risking everything for the woman he loves.
Okay.
But at the same time, and this is a really crucial nuance, she's visibly unhappy that her father, Victor, is directly involved in this deal. And that reaction just peels back layers on her own complex, often really contentious relationship with Victor. It highlights her constant struggle for autonomy against his, let's face it, controlling influence.
And the ever-present potential for conflicts of interest within that massive Newman empire. Is she genuinely worried for Claire, or is she just wary of Victor inserting himself into her personal life again?
Right, that makes sense. And Claire's take on this is completely different from Victoria's sort of romanticized view.
Oh, yeah.
Claire expresses genuine, palpable concern. She's wondering aloud if Kyle's actions are driven by obsession, maybe overwhelming jealousy, or if he's simply, and this is her word, too much for her.
Too much. Oof.
Yeah, and she makes this really insightful comparison. She contrasts his current, intense, almost suffocating behavior with how he used to handle Summer Newman's presence,
Oh, interesting.
even when Summer was, and I'm quoting here, more than friendly with him. This isn't just a passing thought. It suggests a really significant, maybe unsettling shift in Kyle's emotional intensity. He's clearly not playing by the old rules anymore. This level of intensity, well, it often signals trouble in Genoa City, doesn't it?
It really does. And this shift, instead of maybe signaling maturity, it kind of echoes a pattern of possessiveness we've definitely seen before there. Often disguised as passionate love, right?
Right.
It suggests he's trying to control the narrative of his love life, maybe mirroring the power plays he's seen, and let's be honest, participated in within that ruthless Abbott-Newman dynamic.
To coin.
And now it's amplified by Victor's direct financial hook. So Victoria, whether she realizes it or not, might be subtly steering Claire towards a path that actually strengthens Victor's influence over Kyle.
Oh, securing him for the Newman side.
Potentially. Solidifying a Newman-centric future for her daughter, maybe regardless of how Claire actually feels about Kyle's intensity. Her advice to Claire is particularly surprising given her earlier reservations about Victor.
What does she say?
She tells Claire to give Kyle a chance, and then she drops this bombshell. Kyle confided in her, in Victoria,
Whoa.
saying he's never felt this way about anybody, not even Summer.
Wow. That's huge. Especially telling Victoria.
Exactly. It adds another layer of intrigue, and it raises that crucial question. Is Victoria's advice genuinely supportive of Claire's well-being, or is there an underlying Newman agenda here? Is she subtly leveraging Kyle's new financial ties to Victor and his intense declarations to secure a desired outcome for the family?
That is a fascinating tightrope Victoria's walking there. But, I mean, do you lean towards genuine maternal concern, or is her advice to Claire really a subtle move to solidify Kyle's ties to the Newman empire, leveraging his vulnerability, his intense feelings? It feels very Newman-esque, combining personal stuff with business strategy.
It's a classic Newman maneuver, isn't it? Victoria, she's navigated her own share of tumultuous romances under her father's watchful eye, right?
Yeah.
She understands the power of personal connections in business.
True.
So while a part of her might genuinely want Claire to be happy, the strategic mind of Victoria Newman probably sees an opportunity. By encouraging Claire to accept Kyle, she's not just supporting a relationship, she's potentially consolidating Kyle's loyalty and talent within Victor's orbit, and by extension, the Newman sphere of influence.
Pulling an Abbott heir closer.
Exactly, creating a subtle but potentially powerful leverage point against Jack and Jabot. So it's probably not either or, it's likely both. A blend of, familial concern and shrewd business thinking.
That makes perfect sense. And the drama, of course, doesn't stop there on Monday. Later, Kyle runs into Nate Hastings at Crimson Lights.
Oh, boy.
And you can practically feel the tension crackling in the air. Kyle's actually worried Nate might, punch him in the face.
A valid fear in GC.
Right. But Nate dismisses that, which is surprising in itself, given their history. He says they are both Audra Charles's victims, acknowledging that shared painful past.
Interesting framing.
But then he quickly and very pointedly clarifies that Claire honestly is the real victim. That's a strong statement, almost accusatory. It immediately shifts the moral high ground to Claire.
Indeed it is. Nate's comment just shifts the focus right away from their shared issues with Audra, who's notorious for leaving trails of destruction, right?
Totally.
To Claire's vulnerability, her relative innocence in all this, it's maybe a moment of clarity from Nate, who perhaps recognizes the manipulation patterns he himself fell for.
Maybe.
And then Kyle expresses his worry that Holden Novak has glommed onto Claire, which indicates that protective, or maybe more accurately, possessive instinct kicking in.
Yeah, seeing Holden as a threat.
Exactly. Not just to Claire, but to his own relationship. And Nate, surprisingly, agrees. He describes Holden as very sketchy.
Okay.
And crucially adds that Holden is still very much into Audra.
Ah, there it is.
That is a key piece of information. It immediately suggests Holden's motivations might be tied to his obsession with Audra. It casts him as a potential pawn in her larger ongoing scheme.
So he could disrupt Kyle and Claire, but maybe not even really about Claire.
Precisely. It foreshadows his potential for disruption in their already fragile relationship, a disruption that might be all about Audra.
Okay, so here's where it gets even more tangled. Kyle starts talking about Audra, causing issues for him and Claire, hoping they can somehow move past it. Which sounds, well, a little naive at this point.
Seems unlikely.
Nate, for his part, reflects on his own past mistakes, specifically not listening to warnings about Audra. And he emphatically states he is now completely done with her for good.
Famous last words.
Maybe. So they share this bit of trauma, right? This shared realization about Audra's destructive nature. But then, just as this fragile moment of understanding seems to emerge,
Yep.
Victoria and Claire join them, and Nate and Victoria leave together.
Ah, okay.
As soon as they're gone, Claire, sharp as ever, immediately asks Kyle if he was talking to Nate about Holden.
Oh, straight to it.
Yeah, Kyle is clearly deflecting, knows it's a touchy subject for her, tries to play it down, claims he just doesn't want Holden to hurting Claire, trying to frame it as purely protective.
Right, the just protecting you line.
Exactly. But Claire is having none of it. She fires back, stating frankly she can protect herself. And then the kicker, she tells him the person she's not sure she can trust is Kyle.
Wow. Direct hit.
And then, amidst this heavy accusation, he begs her for a reset, to start over as a couple. Talk about a whirlwind of emotions and conflicting signals.
That scene is just, wow. A truly dense web, isn't it? Past grievances, current anxieties, deep trust issues.
Yeah.
Nate's declaration about Audra making them both victims creates this weird solidarity built on shared deception. Yet he smartly identifies Claire as the real victim, highlighting her vulnerability. And Claire's flat-out refusal to trust Kyle, despite his plea for a reset, that signals profound insecurity about their future, fueled by his intense, almost obsessive behavior earlier.
It really makes you question his motives.
Absolutely. Is his jealousy genuinely protective, born from affection? Or is it a massive red flag, a sign of a possessive, controlling nature that could ultimately stifle Claire? And that recurring, ominous mention of Holden being very much into Audra, that feels like significant foreshadowing. It suggests Audra's still pulling strings, maybe using Holden to stir up chaos for both Nate and Kyle.
It's a classic move in Genoa City, isn't it? The more someone insists they're acting out of protection,
The more it often hints at control.
That's
Exactly. And Claire, having just, emerged from Victor's highly controlling environment, she's likely hyper-aware of these dynamics.
good point.
Her distrust of Kyle, despite his professed love, it speaks volumes about her growing self-awareness, her refusal to step from one gilded cage into another. It's a subtle but powerful assertion of her desire for genuine partnership, not ownership.
Okay, moving on to Tuesday, September 16th. The spoilers here are a bit more cryptic, but still really intriguing. Leaves us guessing a bit.
Yeah.
They simply state, somebody pushes Kyle to take the high road.
Okay.
Very. And this push could come from a few different directions, right? The sources explicitly list Claire, Nate, Holden, or even Audra as potential figures who could be giving this advice, each with their own very distinct agenda.
Oh, absolutely. Given everything that happened Monday, the specific high road each of them might advocate for would be vastly different. It would reflect their own biases, their own desires.
What would Claire's high road look like?
Claire, if she were pushing him, would likely be encouraging him to trust her, right? To rein in that possessiveness, maybe prove his love through actions that build real security, not grand financially tied gestures.
Okay, and Nate.
Nate, having learned his own hard lesson with Audra and now seeing Claire as the real victim, he might advise Kyle to steer clear of Audra's drama entirely. Urge him to focus on building a stable, honest relationship free from all that past baggage.
Makes sense. Holden.
Holden. Well, perhaps ironically, given his own likely motives, he might suggest a path that strategically removes Kyle from Claire's life, subtly trying to clear the way for himself, or maybe even trying to impress Audra by messing with Kyle.
And Audra herself.
Audra, always the manipulator. She might offer advice that sounds like the high road, maybe urging forgiveness or focus on career, but it would secretly serve her own agenda, keeping Kyle accessible for future schemes or just stirring up more chaos.
Yeah.
So this brief spoiler really highlights the conflicting advice and pressures Kyle's facing. It paints him as a man at a crucial crossroads, potentially swayed by multiple self-serving influences.
It's a perfect storm of external pressures, isn't it? Everyone sees a high road that just happens to lead to their own desired outcome.
Absolutely, and Kyle's decision, or maybe his lack of a decision on which high road to take, that's going to reveal a lot about his true character and where his loyalties, both personal and professional, ultimately lie. Will he rise above it or get pulled deeper into the very power struggles he's trying to navigate?
Okay, now let's pivot slightly. Moving from the personal entanglements to a different kind of war brewing, one that has huge consequences for the entire city.
Ah, the big guns.
Yes. On Wednesday, September 17th, we see sparks flying, not just between individuals, but between two of Genoa City's biggest titans. Nikki Newman receives a stern, almost chilling warning directly from Jack Abbott.
Ooh, Jack warning Nikki. That's serious.
Exactly. And we know when Jack Abbott issues a stern warning, especially to a Newman, he absolutely means business. This feels like more than just a threat, it's a declaration.
Absolutely. Jack's message to Nikki, it's anticipated to be a direct, unequivocal shot across the bow about Victor's aggressive moves against Jack, against Jabba, and by extension, the entire Abbott family.
He's had enough.
He really has. Jack, who's usually more strategic, makes it crystal clear. He is not going to take it. He flat out says he will retaliate if Victor wants war with the family. That's what he will get.
Wow, the gauntlet is thrown.
Definitely. And the source material also notes Victor is in full multitasking mode, going up against multiple enemies at once, which paints that vivid picture of Victor as the apex predator, right? Relentlessly pursuing dominance on several fronts.
So what does this really mean, specifically for Jack, to deliver such a direct, uncompromising threat to Nikki, Victor's wife, instead of Victor himself?
Yeah, that's the key question.
Is this a calculated strategic move? Maybe trying to divide the Newmans, hoping Nikki might influence Victor? Or is this just a genuine declaration of war, bypassing the middleman, going straight to the heart of the Newman family, intending to hit Victor where it really hurts? That multitasking Victor definitely implies widespread ripple effects, impacting business, personal lives, creating collateral damage way beyond the boardrooms.
And it raises that important question, how will Nikki process this? Given her own incredibly complex history with both men, with her family, her loyalty is constantly tested, isn't it? Between her husband's relentless ambition and her own, often more ethical moral compass, her past experiences, especially with Victor's most ruthless tactics, could make her particularly sensitive to Jack's warning.
So will she try to intervene, become a mediator?
Or will she side with Victor, just cementing the feud further? Her decision, whatever it is, will undoubtedly be pivotal. It'll determine whether this escalates into an all-out war or finds some kind of uneasy truce.
And just when you think you've got the Newman-Abbott dynamic figured out and Victor's strategic game is clear.
Uh-oh.
Thursday, September 18th, throws another curveball. Jack actually asks Victoria for help.
Check it out! Jack asking Victoria.
Yep, and it's explicitly stated to be something to do with her dad, Victor, implying he's trying to leverage some internal Newman friction.
Wow. That is a truly fascinating, unexpected turn, especially given Victoria's, well, mixed feelings about Victor's constant involvement in everything, including that recent $5 million Kyle contract we just talked about.
Right.
Jack, always strategic, is clearly trying to exploit the existing cracks within the Newman family. The critical question is, will Victoria prioritize loyalty to her father and Newman Enterprises despite her own grievances? Or will she see an opportunity? A chance to strategically align with Jack, maybe leverage her position to push back against Victor's aggression, assert her own power.
That could be huge.
Huge. This move could significantly impact the whole Newman-Abbott conflict, potentially creating an unexpected, deeply damaging split within the Newman family itself, giving Jack an advantage he might not have expected, and Victor a betrayal from within. Her choice will reveal everything about her true ambitions and loyalties.
Okay, let's switch gears again and dive into another incredibly intricate, ambitious, and let's be honest, undeniably shady storyline that's been brewing, centered around the master manipulator himself, Cain Ashby.
Ah, Cain. He's not just weaving a web, he's constructing a multi-layered deceptive empire, isn't he?
He really is. And it all starts with some profoundly questionable alliances.
Okay, lay it out.
Monday, September 15th, Michael Baldwin, a lawyer known for his moral flexibility.
Ah, nicely put.
He reveals to Phyllis Summers that he's taken a job with Cain Ashby. Phyllis, with her sharp intuition honed by years of navigating Genoa City's underbelly.
She knows trouble when she smells it.
Instantly. She immediately deduces Michael will be Cain's fixer, a role way beyond just being a lawyer, especially since Cain already has Amanda Sinclair, a very competent lawyer, on his team.
Right, so why Michael too? Unless
it's shady. Phyllis recognizes the pattern. Her alarm bells go off immediately. She smells impending trouble.
And Michael, what's his play?
Well, Michael, ever the smooth talker when cornered, tries to butter Phyllis up.
Yeah.
Talks about putting past animosity behind them, probably referencing when Phyllis was furious he defended Sharon Newman in that legal battle.
Oh, yeah. That was messy. Strained their relationship, showed Michael would cross friends.
Exactly. But then the bombshell. Michael casually reveals he's keeping this new, potentially illicit job on the down low from his wife, Lauren.
Whoa. From Lauren. Okay, that's bad.
That's when Phyllis, rightly, starts to smell a rat.
Mm-hmm.
Lauren is his moral compass, right? Hiding this from her is a massive red flag.
Michael's willingness to work in the shadows, to deceive Lauren, someone he genuinely loves and respects it, just raises serious questions. Is he broke? Is his morality completely shot? Is Kane coercing him somehow?
Yeah, why is he doing this?
His excuses about protecting Lauren, ensuring plausible deniability, they ring so hollow, especially to someone like Phyllis.
She's not buying it.
Not for a second. Her keen intuition, her direct, no-nonsense confrontation are crucial here. She calls BS on his flimsy justifications, and she delivers this stark ultimatum. If he doesn't come clean to Lauren, she's going straight at Kane.
Wow.
Tells Kane that Michael cannot be trusted and is up to something shady.
Okay, that raises the stakes for Michael immediately. Phyllis is now a huge potential obstacle for Kane, or maybe a reluctant, cynical ally.
Could go either way with Phyllis. Meanwhile, Kane's own plans are revealed to be far more insidious and technologically advanced. Amanda Sinclair, despite being his lawyer, talks to Kane about the potential danger of him letting Billy Abbott have this mysterious AI program.
An AI program, what does it do?
We don't know specifics, but Kane's response is chillingly clear. It lays bare the deceptive core of his strategy. He explicitly states that Billy only thinks he's controlling the program. It'll be Kane secretly controlling it to do what he wants.
Whoa. So Billy's just a puppet.
Completely oblivious to the strings being pulled.
The nature of this AI program is critical then, isn't it? Almost ominous.
Yeah.
Suggests a tool capable of deep infiltration, manipulation.
Exactly. What kind of power or information does it control? Financial data, personal secrets, corporate intel. If Kane's secretly pulling the strings, Billy is just an unwitting pawn in a much larger game, a proxy for Kane's real agenda.
Deeply deceptive. Covert control, insidious manipulation.
It could lead to huge advantages for Kane, but catastrophic consequences for Billy. He's unknowingly giving up his autonomy, setting himself up for a spectacular fall. And it puts Amanda in a morally ambiguous spot too, right? Aware, but seemingly complicit.
Yeah, what's her angle? And Kane, he's nothing if not relentlessly ambitious, always playing multiple angles. He's also working hard on repairing his public image, or at least his image with his ex-wife Lily.
Ah, the Lily angle.
He asks Amanda if she would get close to Lily to advocate for him, to subtly sway her perception. And surprisingly, Amanda actually agrees to try.
Why would she do that?
Good question. Does she have her own reasons? Anyway, Amanda then runs into Devin Hamilton and Lily Winters, and the air immediately thickens.
Ooh, Amanda and Devin. History there.
Definitely. There's some palpable snarking between them, probably fueled by their complicated past, unresolved feelings bubbling up. This goes on until Amanda asks to speak to Lily alone.
Okay.
And Lily, ever direct, emotionally astute, doesn't waste time. She asks Amanda if she still misses Devin, especially after Amanda made some pointed crack about Abby Newman.
Wow. Digging right into old wounds.
Totally exposing lingering emotional tensions.
So why would Amanda agree to advocate for Kane? Especially after expressing caution about that dangerous AI program. Does she have her own hidden agenda? Trying to secure a position, gain influence, maybe gather intel? Or is she genuinely swayed by Kane, seeing a chance for him to redeem himself, or seeing herself as a bridge between him and Lily?
It's hard to tell with Amanda sometimes.
And that dynamic between Amanda, Devin, and Lily just adds another intricate layer. Lily's pointed question about Devin suggests deep, lingering tensions, unresolved feelings between them that Kane might be expertly trying to exploit.
So if Lily's emotionally vulnerable,
Kane's charm, his perceived efforts to change, they could be even more effective, chipping away at her resolve to keep him at arm's length. It's subtle but powerful manipulation, playing on past hurts and potential future hopes.
so it's not just a business play, it's deeply emotional. He's weaponizing their shared history.
Absolutely. Kane understands that the deepest loyalties and vulnerabilities in Genoa City are often rooted in personal connections. By trying to mend fences with Lily, he's not just trying to win her back, he's trying to gain access to Chancellor Winters through her, and leverage her influence to legitimize his other, shadier dealings. It's a very sophisticated game of emotional chess.
Wrapping up Monday's Kane drama, he sends a quick, terse text to Billy, asks if they are still a go.
Ah, confirming their secret plan.
Yep, confirming their ongoing secret collaboration. It just underscores how deep this rabbit hole goes, how clandestine and urgent their partnership is.
That brief exchange is incredibly telling, isn't it? Emphasizes the secrecy, really sets up Billy as this unsuspecting yet complicit player in what could be his own massive downfall.
His impulsiveness makes him a target.
Absolutely. Billy's characteristic impulsiveness, his well-documented vendetta against Victor, it makes him the perfect target for Kane's manipulations. This text is like a thread connecting two separate but converging schemes.
Okay, let's fast forward to Tuesday, September 16th, and focus on someone who sees the writing on the wall with painful clarity. Sally Sectra.
Ah, Sally. She usually has good instincts about trouble.
She's got a very firm, almost desperate stance when it comes to Billy and Kane. Sally is not going to budge with Billy. She outright refuses to endorse anything that involves Billy working with Kane.
Smart woman.
And she really wants Billy to stay away from Kane, seeing all the danger signs that Billy, in his usual fashion, seems hell-bent on ignoring.
Sally's warnings aren't just abstract concern, are they? They're rooted in tangible past failures, significant personal stakes.
Exactly. She speaks from bitter experience. She highlights how Billy's prior reckless dealings have already screwed up Abacom, resulting in lost funding, shattered potential.
And crucially for Sally.
Exactly. No company for her to run. This isn't just about Billy. It's about her future, her career, which he is just carelessly gambling with.
Yeah, she calls him out on it.
Directly. Accuses Billy of just gambling with both their futures, and declares emphatically she's not having it. Her strong reaction isn't just concern. It suggests she sees that self-destructive, almost addictive pattern in Billy that constantly threatens her own stability.
She knows his history. She sees the repeat button being pressed.
And it gets more serious. It moves beyond just personal frustration. Sally, clearly worried, seeking maybe confirmation of her fears, goes to talk to Diane Jenkins.
Oh, interesting. Diane knows a thing or two about mistakes.
Right. Diane asks if Billy's all right, just a standard question. But Sally's response is blunt, cutting right through. Billy is not all right. He is making the biggest mistake of his life.
Oof.
And I tend to agree, and he's made some big ones. That last part is particularly damning, especially coming from Sally, who has her own history of grand missteps.
The fact that Sally's raw, unfiltered judgment aligns so perfectly with Diane's, someone who's seen her share of GC drama, blunders, self-sabotage, it really underscores the gravity of Billy's choices.
Yeah, it sounds bad.
This collaboration with Kane is clearly seen as a reckless, possibly catastrophic gamble, not just by Sally, but by others who see Billy's patterns. It suggests a looming disaster.
Does Sally have any influence over him, though?
That's the question. How much influence does she truly have? And what happens if he ignores her warnings? It's clear he's heading down a dangerous path, and the consequences won't just be his. Sally's warnings are that stark reminder. Past behavior is often the best predictor of future outcomes, especially there.
Okay, moving on to Wednesday, September 17th. We start to see the true, grand, and frankly audacious scope of Kane's ambition unfold.
He's going big.
He starts by encouraging Billy to patch things up with Jill Abbott, who we hear is in town soon.
That sounds less like mending fences and more like a calculated move. Consolidating power, influence.
Exactly. It's far more than just mending fences. It's deeply strategic. Jill's arrival could be absolutely crucial to Kane's whole plan. He'll undoubtedly try to manipulate her involvement.
Given her ties to Billy, her stake in Chancellor Winters, her history with Victor.
Right. This reveals Kane's long game, a meticulously planned attack, and the ultimate target. It's nothing less than Victor Newman himself.
Wow. Taking on the mustache. Bold.
Kane doesn't mince words. He meets with Billy and asks him directly, with this sort of conspiratorial gleam, how long he's dreamed about taking down Victor.
Oh, he knows exactly which buttons to push with Billy.
Tapping right into that deep, personal, almost primal vendetta Billy has nurtured against Victor for years, now weaponized by Kane for his own gain.
And then Kane delivers the grand proposal. The one you know, Billy, with his impulsiveness, his thirst for a challenge, that huge chip on his shoulder against Victor, he'd struggle immensely to resist.
What's the pitch?
Kane lays it all out. Tells Billy, say yes, and let's start dismantling Newman Enterprises.
Whoa. Just like that. Dismantle Newman Enterprises.
It's an offer designed specifically to appeal to Billy's deepest resentments and his often destructive impulses.
This is the culmination of Kane's incitement, then. A brilliantly crafted appeal to Billy's ego, his long-standing grievances.
It reveals an ambition that goes way beyond personal gain. It's about absolute dominance, the destruction of an empire. And this move directly connects back to Jack's warning to Nikki, doesn't it?
Yeah, it paints a picture of Victor being attacked on two fronts.
Exactly, the traditional open warfare from the Abbotts, and now this covert, insidious operation spearheaded by Kane and Billy. It vividly underscores Victor multitasking against multiple enemies, creating this incredibly high-stakes environment where alliances are shifting and betrayals aren't just imminent, they're meticulously engineered.
The scale of this plot could reshape the entire power landscape of Genoa City.
Absolutely.
Now let's talk about Lily again. On Thursday, September 18th, despite all her previous declarations, her firm vows, we find that Lily finds herself charmed by Kane, at least in a moment.
Oh.
But it may be a while before he gets much further than that.
Yeah.
Still, that's a significant vulnerability, right? A chink in her armor.
It is, indeed. And it's particularly telling when you remember her prior, very firm stance. Earlier in the week, Monday, she was talking to Devin, openly wondering if her kids would ever truly forgive Kane for his past actions.
Right, she seemed pretty decided then.
She believed Kane has mishandled everything, thought it might just be better if the kids cut Kane out of their lives permanently. She even, quite emphatically, vows that she is done with her ex-husband.
And Devin's reaction.
Devin's perspective was kind of like, been there, done that, did it with Tucker McCall, highlighting how hard those decisions really are, suggesting Lily's vow might be easier said than done. A common tragic pattern there where love and history always complicate things.
You know, sometimes you have to wonder if anyone in Genoa City ever truly learns their lesson when it comes to charming exes. It's almost a rule, isn't it?
Oof, pretty much.
The more you vow to be done, the more vulnerable you become.
It's a testament to the enduring power of a shared past, and Kane's particular brand of persuasive cunning. Despite her absolute resolve, her strong vows, Kane's charm is working, even if just momentarily.
So there's a vulnerability there.
Definitely. It suggests a potential emotional vulnerability in Lily. Maybe lingering affection, maybe a desire for that stable family unit that Kane is clearly exploiting. He knows exactly which buttons to push.
So the question is, how long can she hold out?
Exactly. How long can Lily maintain her resolve against his persistent efforts? Especially if he keeps playing on her emotions, leverages their kids, or strategically presents this seemingly reformed version of himself. Her moment of weakness could have huge consequences, not just for her, but for Chancellor Winters.
And finally, on Friday, September 19th, Kane's master plan really starts to convene. The pieces of his complex puzzle finally coming together.
The big meeting.
He calls a meeting of all of his people, the culmination of his recruitment efforts. Attendees listed are Phyllis,
Okay.
someone he supposedly has Billy.
Supposedly. Interesting word choice.
Right, someone he supposedly has Michael.
Oh, supposedly.
And Amanda. Jill Abbott's presence is still uncertain. We'll see if Jill's still in town, the source notes cautiously. Implying her involvement is crucial, but maybe not locked down. This sounds like the big launch, the moment of truth for his audacious scheme.
This meeting definitely signifies the formal launch, a culmination of his meticulous recruitment, his careful manipulations, but that phrasing, supposedly has Billy and supposedly has Michael, it's very telling.
Yeah, what do you make of that?
It hints at the inherent fragility of his alliance, suggests Kane's control over them might not be as solid as he thinks. There could be coercion, manipulation, maybe just fragile allegiance based on self-interest, not real loyalty.
So, instability within the alliance.
Could be a significant weakness, a crack in his carefully constructed plan. And then there's this crucial unexpected development. Billy hits a little snag, a setback in his plan to get his hands on Chancellor.
Oh, a snag. That's never a good sign for a grand, intricate scheme like this, especially with so many volatile people involved.
Nope. Not good at all.
So what will this setback mean for Kane's plan to dismantle Newman? Will it make Billy more desperate, more susceptible to Kane's influence, pushing him deeper into the scheme because he needs quick results? Or will it create enough friction, enough doubt, to cause a fracture in their alliance, making Billy question the whole venture just as it's about to launch?
Precisely. A setback at this critical moment could go either way. It could strengthen their bond through shared adversity, forcing them to regroup, trust each other more. Or it could expose the fundamental cracks in Kane's web, making Billy question everything, especially if he starts feeling Kane's leading him into even more trouble.
It's a pivotal moment. Could unravel before it even begins.
Or harden their resolve into an even bigger threat. High stakes.
Okay, let's quickly touch on some other key developments, unfolding dramas, adding even more layers this week, ensuring no corner of the city is left untouched.
Always something else going on.
First up, Tuesday, September 16th. We hear Chelsea Lawson Newman is in a tough position because of Adam Newman.
Chelsea. She so often gets caught between Adam and Billy, doesn't she?
Constantly. Two men always in power struggles that often leave her as collateral damage. This predicament most likely involves the Newman War with Billy, and possibly that Newman media published something else crappy about him, making things worse.
So the Newman-Abbott rivalry strikes again, with broader consequences, impacting not just the main players, but those connected to them. Chelsea's struggle for stability, her hard-won peace, it's continually jeopardized by their conflicts.
It reminds you that personal relationships are rarely separate from business battles there.
She's always pulled into their orbit, often against her will. This particular entanglement seems to be testing her moral compass. What exactly has Adam done now that compromises her? Forced her hand in business, manipulated her emotionally, knowing her connection to Billy.
Always leaves you wondering with Adam. Then, Thursday, September 18th, a bit of mystery and emotional tension surrounds Mariah Copeland.
Oh, what's happening with Mariah?
She meets with Daniel Romalotti behind Tessa Porter's back.
Secret meeting. Never good.
And when she asks Daniel if he did what she asked, he confirms, with some gravity, yes, Tessa doesn't know that I'm here. He didn't tell her. So a secret request fulfilled, a conspiracy of silence. And the source notes they have a very tense talk, indicating the weight of their hidden agenda.
The secrecy, the tension. It strongly implies a significant personal decision or struggle by Mariah, something so profound she has to keep Tessa, her wife, in the dark.
What's the reason suggested?
The underlying reason hinted at is Mariah wanting to make sure that Tessa has a support network if Mariah is indeed going away, like she talked about.
Going away, that sounds serious, more than just a trip.
Exactly. It hints at something far more profound. Is it health-related? A spiritual quest. A deep crisis of identity after recent events. The urgent need for a support network for Tessa, orchestrated in secret, suggests Mariah fears a prolonged absence, a deeply impactful change. Or maybe she's protecting Tessa from a difficult truth.
And why Daniel?
What specific vulnerabilities in Tessa is Mariah trying to protect? And why is Daniel, given his own complex history with both women, his empathetic nature, why is he the chosen confidant for this sensitive secret task?
It definitely hints at a deeper emotional struggle, potential separation, something that will have profound impacts on their relationship.
Leaves you wondering about the true nature of Mariah's impending departure.
It's a setup that just screams impending sacrifice or some monumental decision, something that will rock Tessa's world, whether she's prepared or not.
Exactly. And the secrecy, while maybe intended to protect, often causes more pain in the long run. Mariah is walking a very fine line here.
Okay, finally, on Friday, September 19th, amidst all this high-stakes drama, corporate warfare, emotional betrayals, we get a little glimmer of something lighter, or seemingly lighter.
A little relief.
Lauren Fenmore, oblivious to her husband Michael's shady dealings.
The iron.
She goes all out to impress Christine Williams about the wedding plans.
Okay, wedding plans amidst the chaos.
Classic. It serves as this almost ironic contrast to everything else unfolding, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Highlights a personal milestone, a moment of celebration, hope, future planning.
But the juxtaposition creates this undeniable sense of foreboding, given Michael's secret dealings with Cain, a secret Lauren knows nothing about, a deception threatening his integrity, their marriage.
Yeah, that celebration feels precarious.
It could very well be overshadowed or even catastrophically jeopardized by his hidden activities. It's a classic Genoa City setup. A moment of joy balanced precariously on the edge of devastating revelation.
How long can Michael keep his secret before it explodes? And what will the fallout be for Lauren, who's so happily planning their future?
Questions.
Wow, what an absolutely packed, emotionally charged week in Genoa City. As we wrap up this deep dive, let's just quickly reiterate the swirling currents that dominated our exploration. We saw Cain Ashby meticulously weaving those treacherous webs of deceit and ambition, aiming for nothing less than dismantling Newman Enterprises, leveraging every connection he could find.
Yeah, his ambition is off the charts. And we saw the looming power struggles between the Newmans and Abbotts intensify right to the brink of open war. Jack's direct warning to Nikki really set the stage.
Right.
And Victoria's potential strategic alignment just adds this incredibly dangerous wild card to Victor's game.
And amidst all those corporate and family battles, often fueled by them, we really dug into the complex romantic entanglements, particularly Kyle and Claire.
Yeah, where trust is so fragile and those past shadows of obsession and possessiveness just linger, threatening to consume their new relationship.
We also touched on those deeply personal dilemmas, characters like Mariah, contemplating a mysterious departure, secretly arranging support for Tessa.
Mm-hmm. And Chelsea, once again, caught in that agonizing crossfire of the Newman-Abbott rivalries, highlighting the human cost of these huge power struggles.
So as we look ahead, some truly burning questions linger, don't they?
Wow.
Hanging heavy over Genoa City. What's going to be the immediate fallout from Kane's ambitious meeting of the minds?
And will Billy's unexpected snag completely derail the whole plan, cause a fatal fracture in their alliance? Or will it push him even deeper into Kane's manipulative grasp, maybe making him more desperate, more reckless?
And how will Jack's direct warning to Nikki ultimately impact the escalating Newman-Abbott war? Especially now that Victoria has been brought into the fold as this potential, albeit maybe reluctant, ally.
Her choices could truly shift the balance of power. And can Kyle really win back Claire's trust after his intense reactions, her stated doubts about his possessiveness? Or is their relationship just destined to unravel under the weight of his past patterns?
And maybe most poignantly, what is Mariah's true plan for Tessa, for herself? And how will Tessa cope if Mariah indeed goes away like she hinted, leaving her without explanation?
Those are some incredibly heavy questions, aren't they? And for you, our listener, here's maybe a provocative thought to mull over as you reflect on this week's drama.
Okay.
Consider how often in Genoa City, characters are presented with clear, unambiguous warnings.
Yeah, we saw several this week.
Sally vehemently cautioning Billy about Kane, Phyllis confronting Michael about his shady dealings, Nate giving Kyle that pointed heads up about Holden.
Right.
Yet time and again, these characters often deliberately to ignore these warnings, driven by ambition, blinded by love, consumed by pride, only to repeat familiar, often self-destructive patterns.
What does this tell us about human nature's enduring struggle? Between reason and desire, between the clear path and the alluring shortcut. What does it say about the seemingly endless cycles of drama that make this world so compelling year after year?
We invite you to ponder the immense weight of these choices, the road not taken, and the lessons or perhaps the perennial lack thereof learned in the high-stakes, perpetually unfolding game of Genoa City.
It's a drama that mirrors our own lives, doesn't it? Albeit amplified.
Until next time, keep observing, keep questioning, and keep diving deep into the intricate tapestry of human choice and consequence.